It all began with war, as so many great stories do. During the 15th century, the armies of the Ottoman Empire pushed relentlessly north through Wallachia and Transylvania, determined to conquer the kingdoms of Europe. One by one, those kingdoms fell before them until their advance reached a small principality that stood between the Ottoman Empire and the Christian West. Its greatest defender was a young prince. His name was Vlad. His father, Vlad II, was known as Vlad Dracula, a title bestowed by the Holy Roman Emperor after joining the Order of the Dragon for his defense of the Christian Church. His son inherited not only his father's bloodline, but his name, Dracula, quite simply, the son of the dragon. Born in 1431 in the medieval citadel of Sighisoara, deep within Transylvania, Vlad entered a world where kingdoms survived only by strength, loyalty, and sometimes by fear. Even today, his birthplace still stands, watched over by the symbol of the dragon that hangs above its doorway. The word Transylvania means the land beyond the forest. It is an ancient place where mountains, forests, and isolated valleys have shaped centuries of folklore. Yet long before stories of vampires emerged from these woods, they echoed with something far more real: war. For generations, this frontier stood between two worlds. Every victory was temporary, every peace uncertain, and every ruler understood that weakness invited invasion. Vlad learned that lesson early. His father was brutally murdered, his brother was killed. The young prince inherited not only a throne, but a country surrounded by enemies and scarred by betrayal. History would remember him for the horrors that followed. But those horrors did not appear without cause. They were born from loss. While Vlad fought to defend his kingdom, another tragedy unfolded behind the castle walls. The Turks spread word that the prince had fallen in battle. Believing her husband to be dead, his young wife, Elisabetta, chose death rather than capture. She threw herself from the battlements of Penari Castle into the river Argesh below. To this day, the river is remembered as the River of the Princess. There are moments in history that alter the course of nations. This was one that altered a man. When Vlad returned, grief gave way to fury. He turned first upon the Boyars, the powerful noble families he believed had betrayed both his father and his country. He invited them to a magnificent feast in his capital of Targoviste. They ate, they drank, they celebrated. When the feast was over, many never left alive. The strongest among them was spared for only one reason: to haul stone. High above the forests of Wallachia stand the ruins of Penari Castle. Unlike Bran Castle, so often linked with Dracula today, Penari was truly Vlad's fortress. Built high upon the cliffs, it was almost impossible to attack. The men forced to build it carried every stone up the mountainside. Many died before the work was complete. Their monument still stands, not to their triumph, but to Vlad's determination. His justice was absolute. When Turkish negotiators refused to remove their turbans in his presence, claiming that custom forbade it, Vlad chose not to argue. He simply ordered the turbans nailed to their heads, so that, as he reportedly said, they would never again be troubled to remove them. Stories like these traveled across Europe with astonishing speed. Some were undoubtedly exaggerated, many were not. But it was one punishment above all others that would forever bind his name to terror: impalement. Thousands died this way. The exact number has been debated by historians for centuries. What has never been disputed is the fear it inspired. Travelers spoke of roads lined with the dead. Enemies spoke of entire landscapes transformed into warnings. and it is said that Vlad himself would calmly dine among the impaled, convinced that terror could accomplish what armies could not. News of these atrocities reached Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, the ruler of an empire. Determined to crush the prince once and for all, he marched on Wallachia with an army said to number 100,000 men. It should have been an overwhelming victory. Instead, he found silence. As the Ottoman army approached Targoviste, they entered a place unlike anything they had ever imagined. Before them stood a forest, not of oak, not of pine, but of 23,844 impaled Turkish soldiers. Every body had been counted, every stake placed as a message. The Sultan looked upon the scene and turned his army back. Without a battle being fought, Vlad had achieved what few commanders in history ever have. He defeated an army through fear alone, but history has little mercy for even its greatest warriors. In 1476, Vlad Dracula was killed in battle near Bucharest. His body was carried to the monastery on the island of Snagov, where tradition tells us he was buried beneath the church altar. His severed head, it is said, was sent to the Sultan in Constantinople as proof that the prince was finally dead. The warrior had fallen. The story should have ended there. It did not. In 1931, archaeologists opened the grave at Snagov Monastery. After centuries of legend, they expected to find the remains of one of history's most infamous rulers. Instead, the grave was empty. Where is Dracula?